Yes, please, Prabhu.
Yeah, we'll start with Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunda Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Radhe, Jayo Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, निताय गो प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिभृङ्ग गोविन्द स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी. Let's glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. This is from a scripture called The Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam by Sanatana Goswami. So it is mentioned in Krishna Leela Stava. He glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam with 5 verses. We glorify that. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyusha. Okay, I'll try to share that. Yeah, you can see the screen, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
So is readable or should I increase the font?
Yeah, it's readable, Prabhuji.
सर्वशास्त्राब्धि पीयूषा सर्ववेदैकसत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाद्य सर्वलोकैकदृक्पथा सर्वभागवता प्राणा श्रीमद्भागवता प्रभो कलिद्वन्द्वोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्णा परिवर्तिता परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्षि अक्षरायते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु ते मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गीन् मद्गुरो मन्महादनां मन्निस्तारका मद्भाग्या पदानन्दा नमोऽस्तु ते असाधु साधुता दायिन् अति नीचोचता करा आनामुञ्च कदाचिन्मां प्रेम्ण हृत्कण्ठयो स्फुरा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Can I request someone to read the translation?
Hare Krishna. Sure, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhuji. Oh, sorry.
No, Rao Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah. Srimad translation, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas. You who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of the Kali Yuga. You are actually Krishna who has returned among us. Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam. I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. Oh, sorry. Srimad Bhagavatam. O my only friend, my companion, my teacher, my great wealth, my deliverer, my good fortune, my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Srimad Bhagavatam, giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, uplifter of the very fallen, please do not leave, ever leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. So, such an amazing prayer from Sanatana Goswami. So, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the heart and soul of Vaishnavas. So, that's the reason here in the first verse he says, "Oh, life breath of Vaishnava devotees." So, Vaishnava devotees, they are very fond of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Because we all know, like when Krishna left this universe, the Srimad Bhagavatam, he gave this Srimad Bhagavatam, which we already studied in the first canto, third chapter. Krishna Swadamo Pagate Dharma Gnana Saha Kalo Drashta Nishamesha Puranarko Dunoditaha. When Krishna ended his pastime here, so as naturally, right, when the sun sets, it will become dark. So, in order to come out of the people who are in this, darkness, so Krishna gave the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so that is the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we all fortunate we are reading here. Thanks to Subal Prabhu, and thank you all for spending, week after week, you are spending, good amount of time in reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, in the fourth stanza here, Sanatan Goswami, he says, "O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances." Like we have so many relatives, right? So the English, I mean Sanskrit verse, it goes like this: Madeka Bandhu Mad Sangin Mad Guru Man Mahadana Man Nistaraka Mad Bhagya Madhananda Namostute. So Madeka Bandhu. So Sanatan Goswami is telling, "O my Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the only my bandhu, my relative." Right? We have so many relatives, right? So, but Srimad Bhagavatam is our real relative. Mat Sangin, he is our companion. So people will leave and go us when we are in bad shape, or we're in when we are not doing good materially, the people tend to leave us and go. But Srimad Bhagavatam is not like that. It will be there with us, and he is our guru, Mad Guru. He is our guru. He teaches in every aspect. Then Man Mahadana. This is a great wealth anyone can possess. Man Nistaraka Madbhagya Madhananda Namostute. So once again, thank you all for joining here this Srimad Bhagavatam. So now we are in the chapter, uh, we are in the first chapter of Canto 3. So before that, just we will recap. Before recap, we will say how the Shima, I mean, we all studied this. I mean, we all read this, but again, just we will go through it again. So this basically Srimad Bhagavatam is divided into 10 subject matter. So the Mahapurana is the one which deals with 10 subject matters. If it deals with less than 10, it is just called as Puranas. So that's the reason why Srimad Bhagavatam is called as Mahapurana. If you remember in the first canto, we have read the verse Sutta Goswami was mentioning Atra Sarga Visargascha Sthananam Poshanam Eta. So that was the verse which talks about Srimad Bhagavatam, dealing with 10 subject matters. So further, Padma Purana, okay, the Srimad Bhagavatam has got 12 cantos. 12 cantos is divided into, it's Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but Sri Krishna himself. So again, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the different parts and parcel of the Lord. It's a different limbs of the Lord. For example, in Padma Purana, it's stated that Padau yadiyau pratama dvitiyau tritiya turya katitau yadguru nabhistata panchama eva shashto bhujantararam doryugalam tatanyau कंठस्तु राजन् नवमो यदीयो मुखारविन्दं दशम प्रफुल्लम् एकादशो यस्य ललाटपाटं शिरोऽपि द्वादश एव भाति तम् आदिदेवं करुणानिधानं तमालवर्णं सुहितावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्रसेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपम्, which says basically this 10 canto, this 12 cantos is compared to different parts of the Lord's body. For example, the first and second cantos of the Bhagavatam are Sri Krishna's lotus feet, and the third and fourth are his thighs. Then fifth is his navel, sixth is his chest, and the seventh and eighth cantos are his arms, and ninth canto his throat. The 10th canto is his beautiful lotus face. Then 11th canto is his forehead. Then the 12th canto is his head, and I bow down to that Lord, the ocean of mercy, whose color is like that of Tamala tree, and who appears in this world for the welfare of all. I worship him as the bridge for crossing the unfathomable ocean of material existence. The Bhagavatam has appeared as as his very self. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And also we know the Srimad Bhagavatam is divided into, it deals with 10 different subject matters. Okay, so the first and for the first two cantos, it talks about uh, Sarga and Visarga, and also a bit of Poshanam. Then 3 and 4th, which is the thigh of the Lord. Again, this is also talks about Sarga, Visarga, and subsequent creations. Then Canto 5, it is it is called as navel of the Lord. So it is talks about sthana. So the various universes, their various planetary system. This is being described in the Canto 5. Then Canto 6 is the chest of the Lord, which basically deals with Poshana, the Lord's protection to the people who are his devotees, and also, I mean, people in general. So then Canto 7, it's the arms of the Lord. It is, deals with the subject matter known as Uti. Uti means descriptions of auspicious and inauspicious inclination. Then Canto 8, it talks about Manvantara and dynasties, mean various Manus, it talks about and their activities, it talks about that. And then Canto 9 is throat of the Lord, which deals with the subject matter Ishanukata. Ishanukata means related to the Lord's related to the Lord and his devotees. And then Canto 10th, it talks about the lotus face of the Lord, and which is called as Ashraya. Ashraya means Lord Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwaraka. Then Canto 11, it talks about forehead. Forehead means the subject matter which deals with the is called as Mukti, that is Nirodha. Then Canto 12, it is the head of the Lord, which talks about Nirodha, the four kinds of universal annihilation. So these are the 10 subject matter discussed in 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it not necessarily like, like just we read, no, like one first and canto talks about the Sarga and Visarga. Not necessarily, Srila Jiva Goswami says this all the cantos will deals with all these 10 subject matters in uh, in certain degrees. It's not that first two cantos it talks only about the sarga and visarga, third and fourth also about visarga. No, it not necessarily in all the topics. So all the in all the cantos all the topics have been covered. Shila Goswami, Jiva Goswami, he says, I mean, this is by Shila Jiva Goswami. And so with that, we'll start today's session. Now we are in the third canto, chapter 1. So now we have completed up to sloka number 38. From today, we'll talk about 39 and we'll try to complete the chapter. Okay, there are 45 verses in this chapter. So just a recap. So in this chapter, the questions by Vidura. So as we know, Shukadev Goswami spoke about Vidura renouncing the home. So this, if you remember the 13th chapter of the first canto, so there, there is a small mention of Vidura quitting the home. He doesn't want to take part in any side, either Pandavas or Kauravas. So he leaves the home. So before that, why he left the home? That also because he was very badly insulted by Kauravas, mainly Dhritarashtra, and his father. Uh, he did not support him. Like uh, Dhritarashtra, he is the elder brother of Vidura. But so this Vidura is always very compassionate to his, elder brother who is blind. Not only he is physically blind, he was also blind in spiritually. He is always guiding him. He was always educating him, and but he also insults him by joining his son, so that made Vidura to leave the home. So that we will come, in today's verse, we are going to discuss that in detail. So Vidura leaves home for the pilgrimage. Then Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring about Vidura and Maitreva Samvada. Then the circumstances leading to Vidura's leaving the home. So that also has been discussed in the previous verses. And then Vidura goes to pilgrimage. So he traveled to different places, like he goes to Prabhasa, he goes to the places on the banks of Saraswati, and he visits many Vishnu temples. Then at Prabhasa, Vidura came to know that all his relatives have died. So then there Vidura meet Uddhava at the bank of Yamuna. So then he started inquiring about, he starts with inquiring about Krishna and Balaram, then about the Kurus. So we have some few discussion in that. So from today, we'll start from the text 39. Rao Prabhu, can you share the screen?
I will do, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Text 39. Yamat Yama utashvit tananyo pratyah pratayvratau pakshabhir akshivinam rematha uddaya mrude swariktam parat suparnava iva vairji vajri vaktrat.
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes.
Are the twin brothers who are protected by their brothers doing well? Just as the eye is always protected by the eyelid, They are protected by the sons of Pratha, who snatched back their rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhan, just as Garud snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier. Indra, the king of heaven, carries a thunderbolt in his hand and is very strong. Yet Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, was able to snatch nectar from his mouth. Similarly, Duryodhan was as strong as the king of heaven, and still the sons of Pratha, the Pandavas, were able to snatch away their kingdom from Duryodhan. Both Garud and the Parthas are pet devotees of the Lord, and thus it was possible for them to face such strong enemies. Vidur's inquiry was about the youngest brothers of Pandavas, namely Nakul and Sahadev. These twin brothers were sons of Madri, the stepmother of the other Pandavas. But although they were stepbrothers, because Kunti took charge of them after the departure of Madri with her husband Maharaj Pandu, Nakul and Sadev were as good as the other three Pandavas, namely Yudhishthira, Bhishma, and Arjun. The five brothers are known in the world as regular brothers. The three elder Pandavas took care of the younger brothers, just as the eyelid takes care of the eye. Vidur was anxious to know whether, after winning back their own kingdom from the hands of Duryodhan, the younger brothers were still living happily under the care of the elder brothers. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Sushil Prabhu. Yeah, so now in the previous verses, Vidura inquired from uh, uh, from from Uddhava
प्रभु
about Supreme. Yeah,
प्रभु सॉरी प्रभु तो आपकी आवाज थोड़ी कम आ रही है.
now or from beginning it's like this, bro.
It was okay before, just for a few moments it went down, but if you can speak again, then I'll let you know.
Yeah. How about now, bro?
This is good. This is good. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Because I'm using external device, that's the reason probably. Yeah. Now it's clear, na, bro?
Yes, Prabhu, it is there.
Okay. So in the previous verse, when Vidura met Uddhava, so he inquired about Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Balaram. Then he inquired about Yudhishthir Maharaj. Then he also inquired about Arjuna. Now he's Arjuna and Bhim also. Now he's inquiring about Nakula and Sahadev. So we all know there are, Pandu had two wives. One is Kunti and other one is Madri. And when Pandu died, so then according to the tradition, so whenever the husband dies, the wives also, jump into the funeral fire, and that system is known as sati. So that is, it was not a compulsion, because since the wives were unable to bear the separation from their husband, so this they used to jump into the fire. So that was the practice, but later on that has become tradition, and the people started forcefully forcing the widows to take this sati, and all those things were there. And later on, the social reformers, they came and they put a they brought a law that we should not the sati should not be, it should be prohibited. But now there is no more sati. But factually, in olden days, this used to be followed. So when Pandu died, both Madri and Kunti, they wanted to take sati. So but that time, Madri said, Madri requested Kunti, please, you don't do that. You don't jump into the fire and give up your body, because we have small kids. There are five of them. That is Yudhishthira, Bhima, then Arjuna from Kunti, and Nakul and Sahadev from the Madri. So, I will take this sati, and you be with the children and you take care of the children. So, this Madri requested Kunti. So, Kunti is stayed back, and she took care of the children very nicely. So, here the Vidura is inquiring about this Nakul and Sahadev. So also, in the verse also, and also in the purport, Prabhupada makes a nice mention, like Indra is the king of heaven. So he carries the thunderbolt and he's very strong actually. But sometimes what happens, Garuda snatches nectar from his mouth. Hmm? So this incident happens in the Swargaloka. So it's in one way it's a pastime between Garuda and Indra, but the main purpose why that is being mentioned here, it doesn't matter about our physical strength. Until unless we have the mercy of the Lord, so we will be successful. If we don't have the mercy of the Lord, then nothing can go in our nothing go in favor of us. For example, in Mahabharat, at the end of Mahabharat, we have seen, right? So what Krishna tells Arjuna, so you take care of my wives. He leaves them when Krishna ended his pastime. He handed over all the wives to Arjuna to take care of them. But Arjuna was defeated by an ordinary person. Though Arjuna had, Pashupatastra, then Gandiva, so none of the weapons worked, which clearly indicates that as long as we have the mercy of the Lord, so we will be successful. The moment if Lord withdraws his mercy on us, then we will be nowhere. The same thing here, the two analogies he is giving. One is Indra, he is the king of heaven. He was very, very strong. He always carries thunderbolt, Vajrayuda. But in spite of that, he is carrying such a strong Ayuda, but still Garuda snatches, nectar from his mouth. Similarly, Duryodhana, maybe he is very strong, but these Pandavas, they defeated him and they got this kingdom. So that's analogy is he giving here. And also in the second paragraph, like we already discussed about Madri and Kunti and their children. And though they were the Kunti's Nakul and Sahadev, though they were they were the they were the children of Madri, yet Kunti took care of them as good as her own child. Similarly, all the three elder brothers, Yudhishthir, then Bhima and Arjuna, they also took care of these two boys very nicely. So if we reach, Mahabharat, there's a nice mention about this, and that's the reason they are called as Pancha Pandavas. They are inseparable. They are always remain together, all five of them. So this is Uddhava. Vidura is inquiring from Uddhava. Okay. So we move to text 40. अहो पात्रापि द्रियते अर्भकार्थे राजश्रीवर्येण विनापि तेन यस्त्वेकवीरो अधिरथो विजये धनुर्द्वितीया ककुभुश्चतस्रः.
Hare Krishna. Translation and covered by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, is Pratha still living? She lived only for the sake of her fatherless children. Otherwise, it was impossible for her to live without King Pandu, who was the greatest commander and who alone conquered the four directions simply with the help of a second bow. A faithful wife cannot live without her lord, the husband, and therefore all widows used to voluntarily embrace the burning fire which consumed the dead husband. This system was very common in India because all the wives were chaste and faithful to their husbands. Later on, with the advent of the age of Kali, the wives gradually began to less adherent to their husbands, and the voluntary embrace of the fiery fire by the widows became a thing of the past. Very recently, the system was abolished. since the voluntary system had become a forcible social custom. When Maharaj Pandu died, both his wives, namely Kunti and Madri, were prepared to embrace the fire, but Madri requested Kunti to live for the sake of the younger children, the five Pandavas. This was agreed upon by Kunti at, at the added request of Vyasadeva. In spite of her great bereavement, Kunti decided to live, not to enjoy life in the absence of her husband, but only to give protection to the children. This incident is referred to here by Vidura because he knew all the facts about his sister in law Kunti Devi. It is understood that Maharaj Pandu was a great warrior and that he alone, with the help of a bow and arrow, could conquer the world's four directions. In the absence of such a husband, it was almost impossible for Kunti to live on even as a widow, but she had to do it for the sake of the five children. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Amit Prabhu. Yeah, so in this verse, Vidura is inquiring about Kunti Maharani. So Kunti's other name is Prutha. Hmm? So yeah, as beautifully Prabhupada writes here, like uh, she cannot have the separation from Pandu. But yet, for the sake of her small children, she is decided to leave. And of course, she was convinced by, all the elders, including Vasadeva. And yeah, she also undergone, along with her children, so many injustice in their life. So that's the reason in Bhishma Stuti, when Bhishma Dev sees all these Pandavas. Bhishma Dev is about to leave his body, so he is laying down on the arrows of bed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So there Krishna deliberately takes all the Pandavas. They were all dressed, very nicely with, as the emperors. That time they become the emperors of this universe. So Krishna made them to dress as a kings, emperors. So all they go. So when Bhishma Dev sees, the Pandavas, he was so happy. Then immediately first was come from his mouth was that Aho kastam aho nyayam. Yad bibeti yadunandanaha. He says, Aho kastam aho anyayam. So, Aho kastam, you Pandavas, you have suffered so many difficulties, and so many injustices happened to you. And Kunti was also there, in that, so they faced a lot of, difficulties, yet they never left the association of they never left Krishna's, they're always remembering Krishna. So in that episode, like why the difficulties comes for the devotees, it was nicely explained in that context in Bhishma Stuti. Like, most of our people also ask, right, why the uh, bad thing happened to good people, right? So the reason why there are three kind, it can be classified as a three categories. One is karmis, one is devotees, one is exalted devotees of the Lord. Okay, so the first one is karmis. So the karmis, they undergo the difficulties because of their karma. So I have done something bad, so I have to suffer. Okay, so for example, I have taken some, I eaten some food which is not digestible, so because of that I will get stomach upset. So this is a straight one, like uh, uh, mm, because of their karmic reaction, they suffer. Okay, then the practitioners, the devotees, they also suffers. So why the devotees who started chanting, so his karma started depleting. His cause it started nullifying. So the evidence is Brahma Samhita. In Brahma, what Brahmaji says, karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam. Even if you start doing little bhakti, our karma file start getting burnt. So but yet we see the devotees suffer, right? So why? Because though we are on the right path, though they are on the sadhaka level, there is some traces in our in our heart, in our mind. So we want to enjoy this material world. There is some slight traces. So Krishna will give the difficulties in order to remove these small traces from our thinking. So then you should completely, because if you want to go to spiritual world, we should not have any desires for this material world. So he'll make sure that through these difficulties, Krishna wipes that. That's what Brahma says in Brahmasuti. Tattenu kampam susamikshamanam bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hrudva vapubir vidadam namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadabhaya. He says, like see, for example, my father is a very rich person. He's got so many properties. So in order to I become the inheritor of his property, what I should do? I should patiently wait till he leaves his body. I should be submissive to him, right? Similarly, the one, though there are so many calamities, so many disturbances, so many difficulties, if we just keep Krishna in the center, he always remember that. How? Three ways. Frud, Vak, Vapubir. He is always thinking on the Lord with his heart. Then Frud, Vak with his speech, and Vapubi with his deeds. If he remembers Lord always, he is become in he is qualified to enter the spiritual world. So this is the sadhakas. This is the reason why they face difficulties in their life. It is not because of their karmic reaction, because Krishna wants to make them purify, so these things will happen. Then there is a third category, who are the great exalted devotees of the Lord. Like, for example, Pandavas, even Kunti also comes in that. So, from the beginning to the end, they are all suffering for one reason or the other, right? So, in their childhood, they lost their father, the Pandavas died, then mother has to take care of them, and this Dhritarashtra and his sons, they have put so much, they give so much trouble to these Pandavas, especially Bhima. They tried to kill Bhima several times, right? So Kunti has to see all these things with her own eyes. All these Pandavas, they were so much suffering in their life. So yet they never left the lotus feet of Krishna. They were always remembering Krishna. Even in fact, Kunti Maharani, she prays to the Krishna in Kunti Stuti. She says, Vipadaha Santuta Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. She says, Krishna, let all the calamities come to me again and again. So why she is praying that? She says, when the calamities comes, then we don't have anyone except you to think. So when we think of you, immediately you will come in front of us and we can see your face. The moment if we see your face, then we have your darshan, there is no rebirth for us. So that is the conviction she had, and is fact also. Whoever sees Krishna, then there is no rebirth for them. So so, so this is the third category of people who undergo suffering. Yet they are very determined. And here, with these kind of people, Krishna wants to show us, look at my devotees. So irrespective of whatever the situation, they never leave my lotus feet. So this is how the three categories of people they undergo suffering, and from this we also understand why the suffering happens to good people. In this way you can answer them. So here the Kunti Maharani, she suffered a lot of tribulation in her life, yet she was very confident because she had a faith in Krishna. She was a very, she is always thinking of Krishna. So here Vidura is recalling all those Vidura is recalling all the sufferings went by Kunti Maharani, and she clearly says, she was very much devoted to Pandu, without Pandu, she cannot live. But yet she lived only because of the this five Pandavas. Now he's inquiring about Kunti Maharani. So we'll move to text 21. Sorry, text 41. Prabhu? Yeah. सौम्यानुशोचेतं मदपतन्तं भ्रात्रे परिताय विदुरे हये विदुद्रुहेया निर्यापितो येन सुहृत्स्वपूर्या अहं स्वपुत्रान् समानुव्रतेन.
I can read,
Hare-
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhupada.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. O gentle one, I simply lament for him, Dashrata, who rebelled against his brother after death. By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his own sons. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Vidura did not ask about the welfare of his elder brother because there was no chance of his well-being, only news of his gliding down to hell. Vidura was a sincere well-wisher for Dashrata, and he had a thought about him in the corner of his heart. He lamented that Dashrata could rebel against the sons of his dead brother Pandu, and that he could drive him, Vidura, out of his own house on the dedication of his crooked sons. In spite of these actions, Vidura never became an enemy of Dashrata, but continued to be his well-wisher. And at the last stage of Dashrata's life, it was Vidura only who proved to be his real friend. Such is the behavior of a Vaishnava. Like Vidura, he desires all good even for his enemies. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Uday Prabhu. Just a small correction there. It is Dhritarashtra. You read it as Dasharatha.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So we know, right, Dhritarashtra, how he badly behaved with everyone, right? Like first of all, he did not train his children. So since beginning, the children were doing, but he encouraged them, and he was inimical. Dhritarashtra Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva. So he says Mamakaha. He's addressing his sons as Mamakaha and sons of Pandus as Pandavas. So in one sense, actually, they are also his sons, right? His younger brother's sons, they are also his sons only. But he is making this differentiation because why? He is identifying on the bodily platform. And he throughout his life, he did so many aparadas, so many mistakes, so many things he has committed, so many offenses he has committed. Yet, that's the reason, here Vidura, he is not inquiring about his welfare because he knows he will glide down to the hellish planet because of all his atrocities, all his, offenses. But yet he is very compassionate to him. So like so in when at the end of his life, he comes from the pilgrimage, he goes back to Hastinapur, then he takes care of him, and he is the one who go and preaches to him. So that is the quality of a Vaishnava. In the last line, Srila Prabhupada writes, Vaishnava, like Vidura, is desired, he desires all good even for his enemies. So the Vaishnavas, they never consider one is his a friend or enemy. So they see everyone as a part and parcel of the Lord. So even yeah, so like Vaishnavas are called as para dukha dukhi. They cannot bear if someone is undergoing difficulties. So they always try to do good for them. So even that's what the same our Srila Prabhupada was so compassionate. He cannot see the problems faced by all the people. So at the age of 70, he goes to America with just 40 rupees in his hand, without knowing whether to go to left or right in US. He goes and he faces so many difficulties. It was not a cakewalk for him. Like nowadays it happens now. So we will go and we will tell some of our friend, in other countries, he will come and they will pick up from the airport. We will go to the nice place and we'll stay back and we'll come. It was not like that. When Prabhupada, first and foremost, he went in a steamer ship, which is a cargo ship. Even it's not a passenger ship. Then he had two heart attack. Then he didn't had any dollar in his along with him. So he went there. He landed in Boston. When he landed in Boston, he don't know whether he has to go to left or right. That was his situation, and he struggled a lot. First 1.5 years, if you read the Leelamrita, it is so touching, right?
Prabhu,
So yeah.
Prabhu, your voice is again going low.
Okay, I'll do one thing.
Is everyone else able to hear, or is it only I am
No,
listening?
it's very, very low, Prabhu.
Okay.
Very low. Is it? Okay. One second, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Srimad Prabhu, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you hear me?
This is better, Prabhu.
Now it is okay, Prabhu.
Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting your flow, Prabhu.
No. Yeah, basically what we are talking about, like Vaishnavas, they are always para dukha dukha. They cannot bear the suffering of the other living entities. So as even our devotees also, our acharyas, they do the same, they are doing the same.
Prabhu, again, there is a problem. I think then the previous one was better, Prabhu.
Okay, I don't think without Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu, this is fine. Thank you so much.
So I'm with the wide connection. Now hopefully there should not be any disturbance now. Yeah. Okay. So Vaishnavas are paradukha dukhi. They cannot bear the difficulties of others. So they go even modern day also. Now we can see all our present day gurus. They travel extensively. They undergo so much difficulties, but only thing to make others happy. As we in the beginning we have seen, right? The Madeka Bandhu Mat Sangin, because they want to give this knowledge of Krishna to all, to one and all. So they are going and they are preaching. So here Vidura also, in spite of Dhritarashtra, he behaved so badly with him. So he made him to leave the home and go, but yet he is not inimical to him. So he is the well-wisher of Dhritarashtra. So he is inquiring him with Vidura here. So we move on to text 42. Okay. सोऽहं हरेर्मर्त्यो विडम्बनेन दृशो नृणां चलयतो विधातुः नान्यापलक्ष्य पदवीं प्रसादात् चरामि पश्यन् गता विस्मयोऽत्र.
Hare Krishna. Translation. I am not astonished at this, having traveled over the world without being seen by others. The activities of the personality of Godhead, which are like those of a man in this mortal world, by bewildering to others. But I know of his greatness by his grace, and thus I am happy in all respects. Purport. Although he was the brother of Dhritarashtra, Vidura was completely different. By the grace of Lord Krishna, he was not foolish like his brother, and thus his brother's association could not influence him. Dhritarashtra and his materialistic sons wanted to falsely lord it over the world by dint of their own strength. The Lord encouraged them in this, and thus they become more and more bewildered. But Vidura wanted to achieve sincere devotional service of the Lord and therefore become a soul absolutely surrendered to the absolute personality of Godhead. He could realize this is in the progress of his pilgrim's journey, and thus he was freed from all doubts. He was not at all sorry to be bereft of his hearth and home because he now had experience that depends on the mercy of the Lord is a greater freedom than so-called freedom at home. A person should not be in the renounced order of life unless he is firmly convinced of being protected by the Lord. This stage of life is explained in Bhagavad Gita as Abhyam Sattva Samsuddhi. Every living entity is factually completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. But unless one is in the pure state of existence, he cannot be established in this position. This stage of dependence is called Sattva Samsuddhi or purification of one's existence. The result of such purification is exhibited in fearlessness. A devotee of the Lord, who is called Narayana Para, is never afraid of anything because he is always aware of the fact that the Lord protects him in all circumstances. With this conviction, Vidura traveled alone and he was not seen or recognized by any friend or foe. Thus, he enjoyed freedom of life without obligation to the many duties of the world. When Lord Sri Krishna was personally present in the mortal world in his eternal blissful form of Shyamasundara, those who were not pure devotees of the Lord could not recognize him or know his glories. Avajananti Mamuda Manu Manusim Tanum Ashritam. He is always bewildering to the non-devotees, but is always seen by the devotees by dint of their pure devotional service to him. Jai Sri Prabhupada.
Yeah, thank you, Rao Prabhu. So here, Vidura, he is recalling the incident. So I am not astonished at this, having traveled all over the world without being seen by others. So like sometimes, when you become a celebrity, it is very difficult, you cannot live your peaceful life, right?
So wherever you go, the people will, they will come and they will, they have so many fans. They want to, associate with you. But here, the Vidura, when he went, he was not recognized by anyone. So he was just an ordinary person. So he is enjoying his life. So, and even though he was living with Dhritarashtra, but yet he is not influenced by them. So normally we say, the association will make us, the association will make us what we are, right? So, he could have developed the same qualities as Dhritarashtra, but Vidura, being the devotee of the Lord, he was not influenced by the bad qualities of Dhritarashtra and his sons. In fact, he was, consoling them. He was, educating them. He was pointing out the mistakes committed by Duryodhana. So he used to tell, don't do this. Even that's the reason why he was thrown out of the house. So, it was the incident, when the Draupadi Vastrapaharana was happening. So Dushasan pulled Draupadi to the assembly by holding her hair, and he started disrobing her. That time, Vidura, he gave the advice, he said, you stop it. So that was not palatable for Dhritarashtra and his sons. Similarly, in the past also, like he gives many examples. He quotes from the Chanakya Pandit. Like, when our body, any part of our body gets contaminated, especially, like if someone is diabetic and if his, if his finger or something get affected, the doctor will advise to remove that particular body. So, which is acceptable, to save the whole body. So getting rid of one small part of the body is okay. Similarly, so in a family, in a house, there is one bad person. So because of one bad person, the whole family is getting, bad name. So in that case, family can, can give that person away. So no need of keeping him, just they can banish him. Similarly, in a village, you can give up one particular family for the sake of whole village. This is from the Chanakya Niti. So even in the state also, like if one village is not doing good, so they can forgo that particular village in order to save the whole state. So like this, he tells, Vidura tells Dhritarashtra, you send your son away, especially Duryodhana. He's such a nasty person. He's such a bad. So you give him up. So this was not tolerated by Dhritarashtra, and moreover his son Duryodhana. So he tells him, then he insults him. You are a Dasi Putra. You are a son of a maid servant, and here you are coming and you are giving a lecture to me. So then, he insults him. As a result of which, he goes on pilgrimage. One second, Prabhu. Okay, so yeah, so this is how. But he was in a palace, and of course he was not attached to any palatial enjoyment. So he was always Krishna conscious. But when he got this opportunity, he did not blame anyone. Just he took it as an opportunity, and he went for pilgrimage, and he was constantly thinking of the Lord, and he is enjoying his pilgrimage. So this is the how the devotees respond. Then also, he renounced it. In other sense, he renounced this palace. So then the Prophet Srila Prabhupada talks about the quality of a sannyasi. In Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, the 26 qualities of the devotees are mentioned. In that, first three are for the sannyasis, which is Abhayam, Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi. One should have Abhayam. Abhayam means he doesn't have any fear. Abhaya, he is always, because he knows that Krishna will protect him. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. Wherever he goes, Krishna will protect him. That firm conviction he is having. So he travels all over the world very freely. So in that way, he is, he is Abhayam. Then Sattva Samshuddhi, because since he is having a pure consciousness and he is always pure in nature, he doesn't do one thing externally, one thing internally. He is very transparent. So this Sattva Samshuddhi also helps him. Yeah. So this is what here it's explained. So yeah, then he is always Narayana Para. Narayana Para means he knows always Krishna will protect him in whatever the situation him. So in that way, Vidura was enjoying his freedom and his traveling all over the Tirtha Kshetra. So then, sometimes, in the last line, last Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, right? Even when Lord was personally present, still many people could not recognize him. They were thinking he was an ordinary person. That's the reason in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, right? Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumastritam. People were thinking Krishna is an ordinary person. So, but whereas this is the nature of non-devotees. But whereas the devotees, they know perfectly who is Krishna, and they will tender service unto him. Yeah. So this is what is being discussed in text 42. We are moving to text 43. Nyunam Rupanam Trimadotparartham Mahim Muhuschalayantam Chamubihi Vadhat Prapannarti Tihisha Esho Kepi Upai Tathagham Bhagavan Karunam.
Hare Krishna. Can I read through?
Yes, sir.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Despite his being the Lord and being always willing to relieve the distress of sufferers, he, Krishna, refrained from killing the Kurus, although they committed all sorts of sins and although he saw other kings constantly agitating the earth by their strongly military movements, carried out under the dictations of three kinds of false pride. Purport. As declared in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord appears in the mortal world to execute his much needed mission of killing the miscreants and giving protection to the suffering faithful. In spite of this mission, Lord Krishna tolerated the insult to Draupadi by the Kurus and the injustices perpetrated against the Pandavas, as well as insults to himself. The question may be raised, why did he tolerate such injustice and insults in his presence? Why did he not chastise the Kurus immediately? When Draupadi was insulted in the assembly by the Kurus, by their attempts to see her naked in the presence of all, the Lord protected Draupadi by supplying an unlimited length of clothing. But he did not chastise the insulting part immediately. This silence of the Lord did not mean, however, that he executed the offenses of the Kurus. There were many other kings on earth who had become very proud of three kinds of possessions: wealth, education, and followers. And they were constantly agitating the earth by movement of military strength. The Lord was just waiting to get them together on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them all at one time, just to make a shortcut in his killing mission. Godless kings or heads of state, when puffed up by advancement of material wealth, education and increase of population, always make a show of military strength and give trouble to the innocent. When Lord Krishna was personally present, there were many such kings all over the world, and he thus arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra. In his manifestation of Vishwarup, the Lord expressed his mission of killing as follows: I have willingly descended to the earth in my capacity of inexorable time in order to decrease the unwanted population. I shall finish all those who have assembled here except you, the Pandavas. This killing does not wait for you to take part in it. It is already arranged. All will be killed by me. If you want to become famous as the hero of the battlefield and thus enjoy the booty of war, then, oh Sabyasachi, just become the immediate cause of this killing and thus take the credit. I have already killed all the great warriors, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, and many other great generals. Do not worry. Fight the battle and be famous as a great hero. Bhagavad Gita 11:32 to 34. The Lord always wants to see his devotee as the hero of some episode which he himself performs. He wanted to see his devotee and friend Arjun as the hero of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and thus he waited for all the miscreants of the world to assemble. That and nothing else is the explanation of his waiting. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Yeah, so oftentimes we ask, no, whenever we see uh, something happen, why why there is no action taken by the Lord. So he has got some plan. He did not, he if he wanted, he would have killed all the Kurus in one glance, but he didn't do. The example, Prabhupada gives here in the assembly of Kauravas, when they tried to destroy Draupadi, what did they do? See, Krishna supplied unlimited clothing to Draupadi. So, but he did not chastise the Kauravas. He was waiting for their, their sins to get completed. So he waited. Then once it was completed, then what he did, he arranged the battlefield. Then in battlefield, all these kings were pulled in, and in one go, he smashed it. Similarly, if you see the Krishna Leela, he did the same thing with Jarasandha also. So every time Jarasandha was a great fighter. Every time he would accumulate so many people, he will go all over the earth and he will make friendship with them, and he will make them to join his party, and they all will come who are all inimical to Krishna. And then Krishna will, in one fight, he would kill them and send them back. He will kill them all, but except this one, Jarasandha, because he would have killed Jarasandha also, but one go, but he didn't do that. So like this, every 18 times Jarasandha was, he was defeated, he was sent back, but all his army was killed. So in that way, the Lord was decreasing the population of this universe. So then, and the 18 times, so then what, instead of fighting against Jarasandha, what did Lord do? Just he ran away from there. So that's the reason Lord is known as Ranachor. Then there was, because that time it was, strategically there were two people are attacking Dwarka at the same time. One is Jarasandha, other one is Kalayavana. Then what Lord did is the Kalayavana, he went in front of Kalayavana. Kalayavana started chasing Krishna and Balram. They ran away. So they went to the cave where Muchukunda was sleeping. So Muchukunda had a benediction. So whoever disturbs his sleep, he will be killed. The moment he opens his eyes, they will be burned into ashes. So what Krishna and Balram does, they go to the cave of Muchukunda. So they will disturb his sleep. Then Kalayavana also comes there. And Krishna and Balram, they go inside the cave and they will wake Muchukunda, and they will go and hide in the cave. when Muchukunda opens his eyes, then that was Kalayavana. Then immediately Kalayavana was burnt into ashes. So like that, Krishna do all these things. And main Krishna is, Krishna is Sadaishwarya Purna. He is with the full of six opulences. Out of that last one is the renunciation. Though he is everything, but he is renounced. He doesn't want anything. He always wants to give credit to his devotees. So he would have killed all these people in Kurukshetra. In fact, he's already killed them. That's what in 11th chapter Lord is telling. Already killed them. Just Savyasachi, Arjuna, you kill them and you become a hero. So he wants to give credit to Arjuna. So that is the quality of a leader. Leader is the one who empowers others to grow. He will not take any credit. For example, this is the best example. This Krishna, he is fighting in the battlefield, but he is not attached to anything. He gives all credit to his devotees. Like for example, if in an IPL match, it's a final. When two teams everybody wants to play in the final, right? So, but here Krishna is the one, he says others to play. He says, I will sit. I don't play. So that is the quality of Krishna, who is always wants to glorify his devotees. So this is what is mentioned here in this verse. Okay, we move to the next verse. Yeah, text 44.
Rao Prabhu.
Ajasya janmotpatha nashanaya karmani akartur grahanaya pumsam namnanyartako arhati devayogam paragunanam vutha karmatantram.
Hare Krishna. Can I read? Purport and translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The appearance of the Lord is manifested for the annihilation of the upstarts. His activities are transcendental and are enacted for the understanding of all persons. Otherwise, since the Lord is transcendental to all the material modes, what purpose could he serve by coming to earth? Purport. Ishwarah Parmah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Brahma Samhita 5.1. The form of the Lord is eternal, blissful, and all satisfying. His so called birth is therefore an appearance only, like the birth of the sun of the horizon. His birth does not, like that of the living entities, take place under the influence of material nature and the bondage of the reactions of past deeds. His works and activities are independent pastimes and are not subject to the reactions of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita 4.14, it is said, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spraha iti mam yog vijanati karma bhirna sabadhyate. The law of karma enacted by the Supreme Lord of the living entities cannot be applicable to him, nor has the Lord any desire to improve himself by activities like those of ordinary living beings. Ordinary living beings work for the improvement of their conditional lives, but the Lord is already full of all opulence, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. Why should he desire improvement? No one can excel him in any opulence, and therefore the desire for improvement is absolutely useless for him. One should always discriminate between the activities of the Lord and those of ordinary living beings. Thus, one may come to the right conclusion regarding the Lord's transcendental position. One who can come to the conclusion of the Lord's transcendence can become a devotee of the Lord and can at once be free from all reactions of past deeds. It is said, karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. The Lord minimizes or nullifies the reactionary influence of the devotee's past deeds. Brahma Samhita 5.54. The activities of the Lord are to be accepted and relished by all living entities. His activities are to attract the ordinary man towards the Lord. The Lord always acts in favor of the devotees, and therefore ordinary men who are fruitive actors or seekers of salvation may be attracted to the Lord when he acts as protector of the devotees. The fruitive actors can attain their goals by devotional service, and the salvationists can also attain their goal in life by devotional service to the Lord. The devotees do not want the fruitive results of their work, nor do they want any kind of salvation. They relish the glorious superhuman activities of the Lord, such as his lifting over the hill and his killing the demon Putna in infancy. His activities are enacted to attract all kinds of men, karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas. Because he is transcendental to all laws of karma, there is no possibility of his accepting a form of maya as is forced on the ordinary living entities who are bound by the actions and reactions of their own deeds. The secondary purpose of his appearance is to annihilate the upstart asuras and to stop the nonsense of atheistic propaganda by less intelligent persons. By the Lord's causeless mercy, the asuras who are killed personally by the personality of Godhead get salvation. The meaningful appearance of the Lord is always distinct from ordinary birth. Even the pure devotees have no connection with the material body, and certainly the Lord, who appears as he is in his Sachidananda form, is not limited by a material form. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sumati Mataji. Yeah, so there are two reasons for Lord appearing. One is the Lord is unborn, takes birth, Ajasya Janma. Why he does that? To kill the wicked.
प्रभु
Yeah.
प्रभु तो वॉइस का बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. I think the previous one before I interrupted you was better. Sorry प्रभु, लेकिन it's like too low. ठीक से सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है.
I think it dropped down, I believe. I don't know why.
वो हेडफोन निकाल के ट्राई करना है आपको. At that time it was better than the current one.
No, that time I was having the
हाँ प्रभु,
jobber.
this is good. This is okay. ये जो आ रहा है वो.
This is okay, is it?
हाँ, this is okay.
I'll come little closer. Yeah. Okay, it's better, Prabhu, now?
Yes, this is fine. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. So we'll go with this. There are two reasons why Lord appearance. First of all, he is unborn, right? But yet he takes birth to kill the wicked. Because in the previous verse we have seen, right? When the Kauravas, they were doing so much atrocities. I know, especially the past times Vastrapaharan. That time Lord simply supplied clothes to Draupadi. He did not take any action against Kauravas. It doesn't mean that he has excused them from all their offenses. No, he was waiting for an opportunity. So let their let their bottle get filled up. So then once he will take the action. So he was doing that. So here also in this verse it's mentioned he is unborn. Okay. So but he is taking birth just for the to protect his devotees. In Bhagavad Gita, we know, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkrutam. The Lord comes mainly, predominantly to protect his devotees. Then second one is vinashasya dushkrutam, to annihilate miscreants. So he does that. And of course, Lord need not to come here, he is Ajotisan Avyayatma Bhutanam Ishwarotisan. He need not to take birth like us. He can take birth in whatever the form he wishes. So that's the reason. There are two reasons here also is stressed. One, he is unborn Lord, takes birth to kill the wicked. The second one is although without action, he acts to attract all people. So the Sanskrit word which is referred here as Grahanaya Pumsam. So he attracts everyone like karmis, gnanis, bhaktas. So otherwise, why would the Lord, transcendental Lord, come to this earth? Even his pure devotees, they don't have any connection with this material body. What to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He does it. Why? Just for two things. To reclaim all the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. And also, if somebody is interested in karma and gnana, he will make sure that they will also purified, and whatever they desire, he will give them. So that is the main purpose why Lord descended uh, on this material world. Next, text 45. Okay. तस्य प्रापानखिललोकपानम् अवस्थितानाम् अनुसरणे स्वे अर्थया जातस्य यदुष्वजस्य वार्तं सखे कीर्तया तीर्थकीर्तेः.
Translation, Prabhu. O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage. He is unborn, and yet he appears by his causeless mercy upon the surrendered rulers of all parts of the universe. Only for their interest did he appear in the family of his unalloyed devotees, the Yadus. There are innumerable rulers all over the universe in different varieties of planets. The sun god is the sun planet, the moon god is the moon planet, Indra is the heavenly planet, Vayu, Varun, and those in the Brahmalok planet where Lord Brahma is living. All the obedient servants of the Lord all are obedient servants of the Lord. Whenever there is any trouble in the administration of the innumerable planets in different universes, the rulers pray for an appearance, and the Lord appears. The Bhagavatam 1.3.28 has also confirmed this in the following verse. Ita chams kala punsa Krishna tu Bhagwan swam indrari vyakulam lokam mritanti yuge yuge. In every millennium, whenever there is any trouble for the obedient rulers, the Lord appears. He also appears for the sake of his pure, unalloyed devotees. The surrendered rulers and the pure devotees are always strictly under the control of the Lord, and they are never disobedient to the desires of the Lord. The Lord is therefore always attentive to them. The purpose of the pilgrimages is to remember the Lord constantly, and therefore the Lord is known as Tirth Kirti. The purpose of going to a place of pilgrimage is to get the chance to glorify the Lord. Even today, although times have changed, there are still pilgrimage sites in India. For example, in Mathura and Vrindavan, where we had the chance to say people are awake from early in the morning at 4 a.m. Up until night time and are constantly engaged some way or the other in chanting the holy glories of the Lord. The beauty of such a pilgrimage site is that automatically one remembers the holy glories of the Lord. His name, fame, quality, form, pastimes, and entourage are all identical to the Lord, and therefore chanting the glories of the Lord invokes the personal presence of the Lord. Anytime or anywhere, pure devotees meet and chant the glories of the Lord. The Lord is present without any doubt. It is said by the Lord Himself that He always stays where His pure devotees chant His glories. That thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the third canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by Vidura. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here in this last verse, so Vidura is, Uddhava, Vidura is requesting, "O my friend, please therefore chant the glories of the Lord, who is meant to be glorified in the places of pilgrimage." So that is called as Tirtha Kirti. So here, why we go to the Tirtha pilgrimage? Just to go there and hear about the Lord. So that's the main purpose. why we visit different kinds of pilgrimages. It's not that it's not a sightseeing. So there we go there and we hear about the pastimes performed by the Lord in that particular place. Like for example, we go to the Vrindavan, Mayapur. So there we go to that particular place. We will hear about the pastimes. So it enhances, our Krishna prema. So that's the main purpose why this pilgrimages have been conducted. So Vidura did this pilgrimage very nicely. Now he is requesting Uddhava to speak more about this Tirtha Kirti, which is Krishna, because Krishna's name only it will give the solace to the conditioned soul. Otherwise, what happens in whatever we do it, so it will give only the disturbances, right? So it will never satiate it. Whereas the Krishna Prema, I know, is the one which, the devotion service to Krishna, which will make us, will be self-satisfied. That's the reason, in the beginning of Bhagavatam itself, Sutta Goswami says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhakti adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. If all want to have, peaceful and, we have to be happy, the best thing is what we should do is, we should do yatho bhakti adokshaji. We should do the bhakti to the adokshaja. So once we do that, automatically, our Yayatma Suprasidati, our Atma will become pleased, not with by feeding any amount of, material things. It keeps on demanding you more and more. You try to fulfill it, yet it is not. So like, for example, we dream something. So when you get that object, yeah, maybe we'll be happy. How many days? Maximum 1 month or one 2 months. Right? Again, that will become an ordinary thing to us. But whereas, the love of Godhead, the Krishna Prema, our devotional service to Krishna, it's not like that. It is always giving pleasure to the Lord, and it keeps on increasing. Anandhambudi vardhanam pratipadam. Every day it keep on increasing. So that's, here Vidura is desiring to hear more about Krishna from Uddhava. So that ends here. So in the next chapter starts with Vidura speaking, Uddhava speaking about all these things, and he will give some instruction to Vidura to go and meet Maitreya. So thank you so very much. And sorry for the technical issues. Tomorrow itself I'll try to fix this. Thank you so much for patiently hearing. Thank you, Subal Prabhu, for providing this an opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Any questions or any comments?
I would like to apologize for actually using the name of Dashrata instead of
No.
Sorry.
It's not a mistake. Just I pointed out. Okay. Yes, bro.
Any questions, anybody?
Next chapter will be really very interesting. Like Uddhava will be speaking about remembering Krishna. So it's a very nice chapter. Next one. Yeah.
Prabhuji, we have to just summarize this whole chapter about the questions about Vidura asking. Is it more about him trying to appreciate the Lord and telling us, giving us a message of how we have to think about him?
Yeah, absolutely. So like, he was living in palace, right? Everything was, very comfortable situation, but he was thrown out of the palace. But instead of lamenting, if it happened to me, probably I would have, I would have, thinking why it happened to me. I was doing so thing, but Vidura didn't do that. Instead, he took it as an opportunity. So he went all over the places, and he went, nobody could recognize him. He was not a celebrity. Just he would do whatever he want. So he went there he did the nice darshan of all the temples. So then, but at the same time, he was remembering Krishna. So then he had a blissful pilgrimage. So then he came back. Then when he came, so then he met Uddhava. Then he started recalling what all the things happened. Yeah. So that is that's the
But
that's the main thing.
one very silly doubt, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
But Vidura was in the time when Krishna was there, right? So again, for the pilgrimages which he went for, is it again the at that time what kind of temples would have been there?
Yeah.
Because
All these pilgrimages were there, Prabhu. Even when Lord was there, still there were all these temples were there. The deity worship were conducted during that time also. It's not that this has done after Krishna has left it.
Okay, so which means effectively the temples did have some form of Krishna at that point in time.
Yeah, means if you see the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes Vishnu temples. He writes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danatpuna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you explained that while a devotee suffers, and you provided 3 examples, that karmi, devotee, and pure devotee. Actually, I could not hear properly because of my restless mind. So will you please explain in short, Prabhu?
Yeah. So karmis basically they suffer because of their karmic reaction. Like I gave the example. Today I eat something very spicy. Immediately my stomach get upset. So it also obvious because of my wrongdoing. Because of me eating spicy food, my stomach got affected. Right. So this is how the karmis they suffer because of their karmic action. Okay.
Yes.
The practitioner devotees, like they suffer. It's not because of the karmic reaction, because the moment if you take up to the Krishna consciousness, so all our anarthas are getting reduced. Okay, but in that case, why do we suffer? Because there are some small traces. Though we are in Krishna consciousness, there is something, I want to enjoy this material world in a very small traces. It's not a big thing, but still there is some small traces remain in our heart. So Krishna wants to purify that. He wants to wipe it off. Because if you want to go to spiritual world, not even a single trace of any material desire should be there in our heart. So Krishna cleans that. So by way of this kind of difficulties. So then third example is the exalted devotees like Pandavas. So from the beginning to end, they were facing a lot of difficulties. Neither it is because of their karmic reaction, not because of their material traces for material enjoyment. But here the Lord wants to show to the whole world, look at my devotees, even they don't bother whatever is happening in their life, but they are so much dedicated to me. They have so much faith in me. So for Pandavas, literally anything happens, it's Krishna. So that mode we should develop. So these are the 3 kinds why we suffer. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. And this was nicely explained by our Gauranga Dashan Prabhu. Recently we had Bhishma Stuti. In the second day lecture, this is there. It's available on our YouTube. You can go and check it. He nicely explained.
Sure.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Excellent class.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Uday Prabhu. Please continue.
No. I was just telling Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Sorry, did I go overtime today? I think 15 minutes overtime, right?
That's okay, Prabhu. That's okay. Thank you so much.
That's okay, Prabhu. No problem.
So, Prabhu, thank you so much for all your excellent advice and lectures and guidance, constant guidance. Please coming regularly. Thank you very much. So before we end the class, let us chant Vaishnav Pranam Mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya kanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Yo
Anant
Namon.
Vaishnav
Hare
Vrinda
Krishna.
ki jai.
Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Prabhupada
jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you
for
very
joining.
much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Thank you
Prabhuji.
very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Dandavad Pranam.